Good morning. It is 6 a.m. here. We're gonna head into Walmart and do our big Pacific provisioning shop. Obviously we're gonna need to do a top up in Panama because we'll use some of the food over the next month or two, but we just wanted to try and get the bulk of it done here because we know that we can get things here that we probably won't be able to find in Panama. It's just really hard when you don't know what it's gonna be like in a country. So we're gonna make the most of it while we're in the US where you can basically get anything that you need. So we've got a big list. We're gonna go do a huge stock up, probably take a few hours to do. Then we're gonna go to Aldi and do the meat and cheese and yeah, a lot of the dairy kind of stuff. That's the plan. Hopefully it's nice and quiet in there going early.
How was your drive here?
Oh, it's pretty stressful driving in Miami. Far out.
It's chaos, hey?
Yeah, there's just chaos. Roads going all over the place, and then the way that they do the highway is just so different to Australia. They just seem to add lanes and end lanes all the time, every exit. So people are trying to enter the highway and then other people are trying to get in that lane to exit at the same time.
And the drivers are crazy here. Just feel uncomfortable. But anyway, we're at our first shop for our provision. We're heading to Walmart first and trying to get as much as we can here. Anyway, we're gonna set it up on a time lapse on the trolley and put everything in and show you guys what we get.
When it comes to provisioning for the boat, we've definitely learned a few lessons over the years. One of the biggest lessons has been to only buy what we actually eat, instead of stocking up on random tins and ingredients just because they seem practical. Because the reality is, if we're not going to use it, it'll just sit in the lockers for months untouched. So these days we focus on buying staples we cook with all the time, things like tinned tomatoes, coconut cream, chickpeas, ingredients that regularly end up in our meals and are easy to store on board.
All right, one trolley completely full. Gonna go grab another one.
Before we even head to the supermarket, we make one big master list of everything we want to buy. Once we get into the store, we basically work our way through the list item by item, hunting everything down as we go. It's usually a little chaotic at first while we figure out the layout of the store, but it definitely gets easier once we get a feel for what's in each aisle. And honestly, doing it this way helps so much. Instead of wandering around confused and trying to remember what we need, we can stay focused and make sure we don't miss important ingredients on the list.
Alright guys,
just three full. I really hope you haven't gone overboard here. I don't know how we're going to fit this in our boat.
I think it's about 3 months worth of food there.
We've still got fresh stuff to get.
I know.
The car is literally already sunk at the back, and we've got to drive on the highway to get back as well.
We'll just cruise, we're not in a rush.
Yeah, but yeah, we've spent around $2,000 US, I think. We have a lot of food.
So we do have crew on board, so
yeah.
There's double the amount of people to feed.
Wow, from the Pacific, yeah.
And we've stocked up quite a bit on cat food too. I hope.
That cost quite a bit.
It did cost quite a bit.
Yeah.
Sweet July, my if you burn me up.
Okay, we are back from provisioning. We're both pretty exhausted and it's a little chaotic because we tried to get everything at once and trying to fit it all on the boat. To even just sort through it is pretty difficult. Jason's gone over to get the last load from the car. Our entire bed is covered in bags. We've got bags outside. I've opened up the floors to give them a little bit of a clean again so we can put the containers in to start packing away cans. And then I've got to start taking the labels off the cans and labeling them with a texter. This is definitely the biggest provision we've ever done. Hopefully it lasts us a long time and hopefully nothing goes bad, I guess. I've just bagged all of the pasta up. I think we might need some bigger bags to be able to actually fit the long pasta upright so it doesn't take so much room up. So I might have to get some 2-gallon bags instead of 1 gallon. It's So yeah, I've done that so far, which has gotten rid of quite a lot of the bulk from those boxes. As you can see here, I've like compacted all the boxes up to recycle. We've got cleaning stuff back here, toilet paper and all sorts. And then we've got the cat biscuits and food there. And we got some cat litter sitting out here. I did already pop away our fresh produce and like dairy, and I just popped the meat in the freezer for now. I will have to separate and like suction seal individual chicken breasts and like some of the mince and things like that. We have these like potato and onion bags for those, so they're like chock a block at the moment. We've got sweet potatoes over there. We've got chips everywhere, bread. This is the state of the bed. Lots of canned things, crackers, pantry items, flour. It'll be nice to get through it all. We're just opening up the floor here. Yeah, we do have a little bit of water under the floor, so we're just trying to clean that up. And then we have these containers that we bought for the Atlantic crossing. And the reason why we use those is because the first time that we provision in Turkey, we put the cans straight in here, and then if they are sitting in any water over time, you are going to get rust marks, which isn't the best. So, and it just makes it easy to be able to lift it out and then clean underneath it if you need to. Unfortunately, you can't fit as much because the containers take up a little bit of space, and you've got to try and like Tetris everything in there, but that's the best option.
Where do I begin? You're like sunshine and medicine.
Alright, somehow we've got a 5-year-old rider over here on riding duty on the cans.
Sliced tomato.
Oh, you did a pretty good job.
Thank you. Don't diss me.
Well, you're the one that disses your own riding.
No, you are.
I'm just about to wipe under the floors here, pop the containers out so we can start stacking the cans down first, and then that way we can just like lay powdered milk and stuff like that on top of that. Yeah, we're gonna have to do that just to have enough room, I think. But yeah, cans on the bottom, anything that we don't want to potentially get wet on the top.
Come on, take me in. Let me feel the heat on your body again. And sweet July, my mind. If you burn me up, I won't mind when the lights go out.
Alright, we got through quite a decent chunk of it. All looks like a bit of a mess at the moment, but basically we've filled all under the floor with all the cans. We've got things like creamed corn, chickpeas, different types of beans, diced potatoes, some canned chicken, which is always good to have when you run out of meat. And then in here we've got like sweetened condensed milk, coconut cream, some tinned fruit, some more kind of veggie stuff, leaf spinach. We've never tried that before in the can, but thought that might be good with scrambled eggs. And then over here we got some Mexican kind of stuff, so salsa verde, black beans, we've got tuna in packets and tins. We've got all our kind of like diced tomatoes, crushed tomatoes, tomato paste, more chicken. I guess the good thing about this is we seem to be more weighted on this side of the boat. And so because when we put a lot of this food in, it's probably going to help us kind of even out a little bit too, which is great. What do you think of that? I just thought of that then.
Yeah, no, it's great.
So yeah, obviously, you know, for a Pacific or a crossing and going to more remote places, you do end up buying food that you wouldn't normally eat on land, but yeah, you get to a point where, you know, you can't always find the meat you want, or you don't have enough freezer and fridge space for all the meat that you want. So yeah, getting things like canned chicken, tuna. We even found some like tinned pulled pork, which we thought was quite cool. We could make like little Mexican dishes with that, are really handy. And then also a lot of easy meals, because you never know what the passage is going to be like, the crossing, and the last thing you want to do is be down here trying to cook a solid meal. We've never done this before, but we did buy a lot of like these flavored rice packets because they're just so easy. We don't actually have a microwave, but you can heat them up in a pan just with a little bit of water. So they're really nice, quick, easy meals to fill you up, you know, as a side with some meat or something. This is the kind of stuff that we did buy a bunch of. We have no idea what they're like. Hopefully they're decent. Just like little easy packets of pasta. Same as beans. We don't eat like a huge amount of beans, but they are really nice when you have run out of a lot of food because they are healthy for you. So sometimes I'll make breakfast baked beans. Obviously we make hummus with the chickpeas, which is nice and healthy. We use the cream corn to make chicken and corn soup. Yeah, we didn't really buy like canned carrots and peas and stuff like that because I just don't think they're that nice. So we try to be smart about obviously what stuff we chose. But yeah, and we do tend to use a decent amount of coconut cream for Asian food, curries and stuff like that. All right, little update here. Jason is filling all our nice spice containers up here, so they're all full. They haven't been full yet since we've had the new spice rack installed with the nice new spice jars. Don't want to say spice another time. All under the floors is full. We're starting to fill under this seat here, which is like our one kind of under seat food storage area. So we've got like crackers, drink mixes, so like our soda stream flavors, coconut water, some juice, some condiments underneath there, and then we've got our Asian cupboard, which is chock-a-block because we've got some noodle cups in here. So all of our like soy sauce, fish sauce, all the stuff that we use for Asian cooking because we do love Asian. And then in here we've got all of our pasta, our baking cupboard, which is getting pretty full. We managed to find some really cool stuff. Powdered buttermilk, which I think is amazing for like if you want to make like fried fish or chicken or whatever. Obviously I told you guys about the powdered eggs. What have we got there? Powdered peanut butter. We got nutritional yeast. And then really all we've got left to try and find a space for is our flour. We splurged a little bit on flour and got the King Arthur flour because we'll be making sourdough again. So yeah, we got all-purpose bread and some whole wheat because that's really good for feeding your sourdough starter. We even got some pizza flour. We still got all the cat food and cleaning supplies out here, basically. I tell you what, it feels really good to get that big job out of the way. And I guess the one good thing about doing most of it here is by the time we get over the other side through the canal, we're not really going to have a massive amount to do. It's just like a bit of a top up and we should have the help of our crew. So it's going to feel so nice not to be like racing around right before Jason does the crossing. I'm not planning on doing the big crossing. I'll be there for all the other ones. We've got a long way to go to get to all the way to Indonesia, but you never know. We'll see what happens. Hopefully our crew follows through and Jason will have 2 to 3 other people. Gonna be very different for us, but I've been here for all the prep work at least. Okay, it's now 7 p.m. so we've been basically doing this provisioning project for over 12 hours now non-stop. We have not stopped to have a meal. We've just been like snacking on food while we're going. Driving there, doing all the groceries, packing the car, lugging it from the car to the dinghy, putting it obviously in the dinghy, bringing it to the boat, bringing it off the dinghy into the boat, onto the bed, and then everything else that we've done. Like it is an absolute mission. Good morning.
Oh, I look like a grub.
Jason, I just noticed when we got out of the car in the light this morning that Jason had like curry powder all here from doing something with the spices yesterday. Anyway, we just dropped the car off this morning. It was so nice to have a car for a couple of days. And we were just saying, oh, normally when we get forced to get up early, we feel really nice for doing it because when you live on a boat, you probably wake up early still, but you don't really get out and off the boat too often super early. But yeah, we're just very tired at the moment. We've been up and at it for days on end, haven't we?
Yeah.
So we found these 2.5 gallon Ziploc bags, only 12 of them, but we will be able to fit like all our long pasta in those. So I'm gonna do the rest of our stuff that's sitting out and then change probably a couple of our pastas that I put in the 1 gallon bags. Didn't really fit properly. And then we might be able to fit our big bags of flour in here to just protect them from any bugs or anything. Although we are thinking of vacuum sealing that. Ideally, you really want to freeze any of your flours, your pasta, your rice and all of that. Sounds disgusting, but you would be surprised how many weevil eggs that stuff like that has in it. So even if it doesn't have weevils in it straight away, you'll find weevils later. So obviously that kills anything that can come alive in there. Unfortunately, we had to do like all of our grocery shop yesterday and we only have a small freezer. So, and those big bags of flour, we could probably only fit like 2 of those in the freezer and we'd have to wait days for it to actually do its job. So we're just going to, I guess, Ziploc everything and hope for the best. Oh, cannot wait to have this boat organised. If you're like one of those people that like things to be organised and neat, you struggle to live in a small space. Just like me. There's only so much stuff you can fit and organise before it just becomes unorganised. And it only takes like a couple of things left out to just put the boat in shambles. A lot of lasagna pasta. We did get a lot of pasta. It takes up an entire cupboard out of our like 4 cupboards. But it's just so cheap and it's such a good thing to have there as backup. Like you can do so much with it. You can make like pasta salads and put it in soup and obviously make pasta. So yeah, it's a good cheap way to bulk up your meals and it lasts forever as long as you don't get weevils in it. Do you want to leave those strawberries alone? You want some strawberries? You want some strawberries? You like the smell of that, hey? What the hell? What are you doing? Is that making you funny? Jason, you should look at Lulu right now. She's literally got her tongue out and she's rubbing her head up and down on the strawberry packet like it's making her high. Can you smell it? Alright, this is what we got here for the girls. Obviously we have treats and a whole heap of biscuits as well. But yeah, cost quite a lot. I'm gonna have to work out how much we spent, and I just worked out there's about 143 tins of food, and most of this we use like 2 tins, like a tin each per cat per day. Except for these big ones you normally get a little bit more out of, but Lulu only likes these and we don't have many. So yeah, around about 70-75 days worth of food there. Yeah, so it doesn't really last that long. Oh, you gotta plunk yourself down. Okay. Alright, we've got our trusty little vacuum sealer machine here that we bought in Turkey. It's looking a little worse for wear because where we had it stored, we had a little bit of a leak with our original water maker membranes. And we didn't obviously realise, even though we have it bagged. And I mean, things on a boat just get like this anyway. The little screws and everything are rusted out in here. I guess it's not made for marine environments, but hopefully it still works and does the job that we need it to. Anyway, we're gonna vacuum seal all the meat. I do currently have flour in the freezer. I could only fit 1 bag, but I'm just gonna check the dates on this meat. And hopefully it's got like at least a few days, so I can maybe just leave it in the fridge for now and try and get some of the flour frozen and then suction pack that in individual smaller bags, because apparently vacuum sealing it won't actually stop if there is weevil eggs in it from hatching, because it's not like 100% oxygen free and they can live in like a really confined low oxygen space. So freezing it is the best way to do it, or heating it in the oven, but that's going to use a lot of gas because you can only do a layer like 2 to 3 centimeters thick and you've got to leave it in the oven for a whole hour. So that would take like a long time and a lot of gas. At least if you do it in smaller packs, once you open them, if there is anything that does end up hatching, you're not ruining all the packs. We usually vacuum seal individual chicken breasts because when it's just Jace and I, we'll often use only 1 breast between the 2 of us. And if we want to make a bit extra, we can always just grab out a second one. We also portion our mince into smaller 250 gram or half-pound packs and larger 500 gram or 1 pound packs. That way, if we just want to make burgers, we can grab out one of the smaller packs, or if we're making something like a bolognese sauce, we can pull out one of the larger ones instead. Doing it this way really helps reduce waste and gives us a lot more flexibility with meals. So we're not using more meat than we need and everything lasts a little longer. We also label absolutely everything so we know exactly what we're grabbing, and then we stack it all into the freezer using every inch of space possible. And that is our provisioning all done. We hope you enjoyed coming along with us. If you're not already subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell because we've got daily vlogs coming your way very soon. Or if you'd like to start watching them now, you can head over to our Patreon where you can also catch all the goss on what's been happening in real time. See you soon. Cheers, guys.